Next segment is all about one of my favorite subjects, food. In this case, healthy food that tastes great. Our two guests are Richard and Julie Gerber, who have made a career out of demonstrating the joys of healthy cuisine. They originally came to Florida from Maine and set up the Bread of Life markets, which have become enormously popular with a great reputation for organic produce. Please welcome Rich and Julie Gerber.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Organic produce and wonderful, tasty food sounds great to a lot of people in our audience, but there may be some viewers out there that wonder about this combination. Tell us about how you both got into organic food and produce to begin with. How were you enlisted in this?
Well, in the 1970s, before your time, Carlos, we noticed we're vegetarians at the time, and we noticed that eating vegetables and fruits, we were actually consuming more pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, and fungicides because we were taking too many sides, and so we didn't want to commit suicide. So we stopped eating those kind of things, and we started an organic farm up in Maine.
Beautiful. Julie, tell us what you're going to make for us today.
Well, today I'm going to make 3 different kinds of things that are vegetarian sources of protein. A vegetarian nut loaf, a miso sauce to go with the nut loaf, and an eggplant rollatini with black beans instead of the usual cheese, and they're all very good sources of protein.
Just what South Florida needed, another recipe for black beans.
Arroz con frijoles.
That's right.
Let's get going.
Okay.
But this one is a vegetarian recipe.
So we're going to start with the nut loaf, and with the nut loaf, I'm going to use some organic brown rice, which is very, very high in fiber. Richie, do you want to put it in while I
Sure.
talk about it? And then we're using soy cheese. Soy cheese is an alternative source of protein, very low in cholesterol, actually no cholesterol. And then for the protein, for the vegetarian protein, we've got walnuts and sunflower seeds. And walnuts contain monounsaturated oil. Monounsaturated oil is very good for us. It actually lowers our chances of heart disease. And then nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is very good for you.
Yes, it's high in B vitamins, and most yeast is from the brewer's yeast, which is a byproduct of the brewing industry, beer. Well, this is primary yeast or nutritional yeast, which is grown primarily for nutrition, high in B vitamins, minerals, and unknown factors. They're my favorite.
Onions?
Onions.
I understand both of you got together actually around growing food yourselves up in Maine.
Yes.
Well, actually, we met in New York. We met in Brooklyn, New York. We were walking our dogs in the park.
And I tried to mug her at the time.
And I was a yoga teacher. And he came to my yoga class.
And I said, a woman who can do that, I want that woman. I'll tell you.
Richie, I think I'm getting red. By the way, this is egg.
I love yoga.
And then we're adding an egg
Now, was
to
that
it.
egg yolk or just egg?
No, that was an egg that was pre-beaten.
Egg yoga.
But if you don't want egg, if you're a vegan and you're avoiding animal sources of protein, you can add a little bit of juice or a little bit of water, and then you stir it thoroughly.
So we're mixing it up to get it all conglomerated here.
And then we're going to press it into the loaf pan. But as I was saying, is when we met, Richie, of course, fell in love with me at first sight.
Of course.
And whisked me away to Maine, where we lived a very healthy lifestyle, where we really had our own farm, grew our own food, and I taught yoga, Richie taught Tai Chi Chuan, and we had a wonderful organic garden. And that's where we really got very close to the earth and grew our own food.
And now, so I pressed it into the pan, and now it's ready to be baked at 350 for 12 hours?
No, for
That's a different recipe.
for only 50 minutes.
50 minutes, okay.
So imagine that we're baking it, and then it looks like this.
And this is what the final product would look
Isn't
like.
that lovely?
Very vegetarian
colorful.
nut loaf. I feel like I'm on the Food Channel.
What kind of thing would you serve that with?
Well, you're going to serve that with this sauce that I'm going to make, this mushroom sauce. We begin with some olive oil, and olive oil is, again, a monounsaturated fat that is very good for you. And then I'm going to add some garlic. If you object to garlic, you can leave it out, or if you want to, you can kind of flavor the oil with it and then take the garlic out.
but this show is not long enough to tell you the medicinal properties of garlic. There are more studies going on now about garlic with heart disease, with high blood pressure, with the immune system. So these are studies that are in progress throughout the world. And so you'll be hearing a lot about garlic in the next few years to come, for sure.
Because really, whatever you take into your mouth should be nutritious. Because
Food
our
is
body
medicine.
needs it. I mean, we've been talking a lot about spirituality, but in order to really experience spirituality, we've got to have healthy bodies. And in order to have healthy bodies, everything that we take in should be nutritious and wonderful. Now I'm going to add some green onions and mushrooms.
Smells wonderful.
And while
Smelling
this
good out there?
stirs, while this cooks slowly, we're going to work with miso. Miso is a wonderful, magical substance. It comes from the soy. It's actually soybean paste. And if you've been reading the paper or watching TV, you've heard about the wonderful, wonderful qualities of miso. That's good.
Right now, we're allowed to make the health claim. The government has allowed us to make the health claim because it's been proven. 25 grams of soy protein a day can help reduce heart disease. We're allowed to say that, and you'll be seeing that on labels because the government has allowed that. And that's a major breakthrough in our government's thinking about foods, because food in other cultures is thought of as medicine, foods that heal. And there are also foods that kill, but we're here for foods that heal.
You know, there has been some questions about organic food, and we all know the nature of organic food. Do you have to treat them any differently in washing them than...
As I
than
said
any other
before,
things?
don't panic, go organic. And the reason I say that is that, yes, I would of course treat the foods, I would wash it. You don't know, you know, with processing and
Well, there's always
the food
bugs and there
chain.
could be soil in the food.
So yeah, there's dirt and, you know, but I would wash off we wash our fruits and vegetables before we cook it or eat it, yeah.
But when you're doing that, when you're just rinsing the food, you're just washing maybe some insects or some of the soil. Whereas if you do that when you do that to conventional produce, you cannot get rid of the pesticides.
Yeah,
There's no way you can really, I mean, maybe this surface
Because
pesticides.
it permeates, it's part of the food, the pesticides and herbicides and insecticides. It becomes part of that food, and then it becomes part of you. And so what we want to do here is reduce our interaction with these toxic substances.
Okay, the miso has been dissolved. When you cook with miso, you must dissolve it first in a little bit of water. Otherwise, it won't dissolve. And now we're going to add it to our mushrooms.
Oh, is this good or
And
what?
we've got a wonderful mushroom
Wonderful.
sauce. Richie, would you bring the nut loaf over?
Sure.
And so when you serve it, just serve it with the sauce.
Oh my God.
That's lovely.
What are you doing after the show?
I know you love my cooking.
Oh,
Absolutely.
but I love you more.
He knows what to say.
The way to a man's heart, right?
Hey, I've been trained.
That's all lovely. I'm curious about this other recipe because our time is limited. I'm just curious what you can do in the short amount of time that
Okay.
we've got left.
Let me talk very quickly. This is eggplant rollatini, and you see that very often in gourmet restaurants, rolled up eggplant, and there's dairy inside the eggplant. Well, I created this one with frijoles negros, or black beans, and what you do is you have a mixture of black beans and onions and garlic and any kind of spice that you like, which you make
Now,
ahead of time.
Do you have to have, you know, actual black beans and
No,
soften
it
them in
could-
water? Can you get them out of a
It could be
can?
kidney beans. We actually use these beans right here, right out of a jar. We don't like the cans. You start getting that can taste. You know what I'm talking about? So this is right out of a jar. So you get that jar taste, which is none at all.
Fresh out of the jar.
So you take the eggplant and you slice it, okay? And then you steam it so that you can fold it.
How do you steam it?
You steam it, oh, that's a very good question. Okay, a very easy way to steam it is you take a big pan and you got boiling water and you pour it into a pan, and in the meantime you've got your oven on really, really hot, and then you place the eggplant flat on this cookie sheet or some kind of big pan, and then you put it in the oven for about 5 minutes. That's all it takes, and just steam it just so that you can fold it, so that it's pliable.
Terrific.
And then you take the black bean mixture, and you put it like so down the slice of eggplant, and then you roll it. And after that, you pour some tomato sauce over that, and you bake it. You bake it covered. It would be nice if you could bake it covered for about 10 minutes, and then you can bake it uncovered for 5 minutes. And if you want to add some dairy to it,
right? Onions,
sprinkle some cheese
or
on top of
something.
it. The onions will go in the bean mixture. So all of these are vegetarian
knew that.
sources of protein.
And lovely, wonderful food to look at and appreciate. If you didn't jot down the recipe, know that it is available on our website here at WLRN.org.